Hi, everyone. I want to share a little testimony with you, and at the same time, I want to ask you all to pray for me, to pray for my wife and I, to pray for our family, and I'll share a little bit more about that in a few minutes. I don't want to be long on this, but I do want to ask you for some prayer support. Before I do that, let me share a little testimony with you. Years ago, while I was a missionary in Mexico, from the time I was 18 on, I really had a strong desire to get married and was always, searching around looking for the right woman and, trying to get to know girls, and I was always very pushy, with my ways. I scared girls off because I moved fast and talking about marriage on the first date and stuff like that. Well, I came to the point where I was about 26 years old, and I committed my marriage desire to the Lord. I read a text. Okay, I want to share two Bible texts with you. But I read a Bible text in Revelation 3:7. And the Bible text says, "To the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, These things says he who is holy, he who is true, and he who has the key of David, he who opens and no one shuts, and shuts and no one opens." Okay, so I read this Bible verse, and as I was concerned about my future and my marriage and finding a wife, I committed my desire to the Lord, and I gave it up. I gave it up to God, and I said, "Lord, if there's ever going to be a woman for me, then please let it be just like this verse says, with the key of David. You've given me the key of David. It's a door that no man can shut. It's the open door that no man can shut. It's the closed door that no man can open." Because what I found myself doing was trying to force things, right? I was trying to force things. So I said to the Lord, whenever you want to do something, let it be like that. Let the doors just be open. Let there be a clarity in my life and in the future and your plans and your will for me, right? And so I committed that text to the Lord. I prayed that the Lord would do that in me. Then I don't know how long it was between that time and the time I met my wife, Martha. But when I met my wife, we were in we did an evangelistic crusade for 3 days in her village, and we met. Okay, and then after 3 days, I went back home, and I was really enjoying getting to know her, but we were in a different town, and I didn't want to go try to rush back and do things on my own. So I prayed to the Lord, and I said, Lord, what do you want? Is this the woman for me? And so the Lord spoke to me and said, Isaiah 22. So I heard, the voice of God and speaking to me, Isaiah 22, and I went to Isaiah 22 and I read through the whole chapter, and I came to Isaiah 22:22. It says, "The key of the house of David I will lay on his shoulder, so he shall open and no one shall shut, and he shall shut and no one shall open." Okay, so really what we end up having here is we end up having the key of David spoken of in both Revelation and Isaiah. I did not know it was in Isaiah. I did not know that was a quoted verse from Isaiah by John in the book of Revelation. I did not know that. So when the Lord spoke to me, that was a divine occurrence, and it was God's way of saying, "I'm with you. I will guide you. I will lead you. This is my will for your life." And, I still had to wait on him. I had to let God show us the signs and the open doors and to bring all the confirmations. We prayed all the time. Once we started dating, Marta and I, we prayed all the time together, and the Lord spoke to us in many different ways, that confirming His will. So it was the key of David, and I think that was something that was just a real blessing to us. That right now, as we're in this time frame, I'm thinking about the return of Christ, and I'm thinking about the time is so short that we don't have time to rebuild any buildings on our orphanage property. I kind of set those things aside. We gave up an orphanage ministry 4 years ago. We've got 20 acres of land. We've got the buildings in place, but we've got a lot of details that aren't done, like the kitchen and the flooring and the windows and the flooring in the offices, the doors, and then the furnishings, the full kitchen and stuff. We've got dorms out there. We've got our we've got our electricity all in. We've got a deep well. We've got the water supply. We've got a full ball court. But I really haven't been able to think much about long-term goals, because the pressure that that I've had on me is the timelines and the shortness of what we have left. So we're right now at January, and this is kind of going into what I want to ask prayer for. We're going into January 18th. We're at January 18th. It's going into January 20th. We're all wondering, I think, across the world, what's going to happen on or before or just after January 20th. The kids, jeez. And so, what's happening before January 20th, on or before or just after, and yet there's this question, right? I mean, will the deceptions continue? Do things have to happen before then or right after? Or what if we go on farther? The timelines reveal the division of Jerusalem 69 years to the day to the 29th of November 2016. Then 7 years to the day from the Obama Nobel Peace Prize, it's revealed the division of Jerusalem in the Security Council, December 23rd, 2016, based on the Hebrew calendar, Kislev 23 on both dates. Kislev 23 on both dates of the Obama Nobel Peace Prize, 7 years to the day, the division of Jerusalem. But now, the pressure is on, and, I just want to ask you to pray for us. I've got to support my family, and I've got to live a semi-normal life. I'm trying to balance out. I'm not always doing a very good job on the family side. I'm too dedicated to the message, the sign that I got, and the fire that is in me with the message that I have to share. It just keeps me consumed with that, and I really need prayer. I need prayer because I want to just finish out whatever it is the Lord wants me to do. If we're only here a couple more days, everything's fine, right? But if we're still here after January 24th, and then we have to keep looking and searching, it's like, then where do we go? How long? And, we've got opportunities to do work on the property, to maybe raise funding for our buildings. Doors are amazingly opening right now, and that's part of the thing. It's the door of the key of David. Without us working recently on the orphanage, without us pushing it on a human level. We've got government officers coming to visit us. We've got the government offices helping us to get all of our paperwork in order. They just granted us permission to bring more kids into our home. We have government authorization to raise money from public and private entities. Someone came and offered us to build us a website. All these things that are happening, and I got a call today from someone who is wanting to raise money from builders and maybe help us get our buildings back in order. 4 years ago, when I got the sign in the sun, and God began to show me the signs of His coming, and just a few months after that, seeing the abomination and having the timelines open to me, I walked away. I walked away from everything. We had a 25-year ministry built with, more than, we had about $100,000 yearly budget that we were working with the orphanage construction, with mission teams that I was bringing down, with donations that were coming in, plus I had 4 or 5 different personal fountains of income flow, that were with me. Now I'm not, our concern right now isn't. I'm not concerned about money. I mean, although day to day with the new kids in our home, that's one of our concerns. But the prayer today that I want to ask you for, help that God's will would just be done in everything that He's planned from the very beginning. I mean, I know that when I was saved in 1984, I was saved on November 29th, 1984. Okay, that is the day Israel was reborn. Okay, it's the day Comet Ison came. It's the day that the vote was taken to divide Israel. I mean, the Lord's had a plan for my life since I was saved. Before that, and there's many things I could talk about there, but 22 years before my sign, the Lord gave me a prophecy that one day I would bring forth a prophetic word to a nation. That led me and my wife to do a 40-day fast in the fall of 2012, and that opened up the prophecy that the Lord gave to me in December of 2012, the sign of His coming revealed, the sign that He gave us in the Son, and it opened up to me a gift of understanding. But I never expected to still be here 4 years and going, 4 years and counting. And, every time the Lord shows me a date, something major happens. Yesterday, I knew something would happen this January 17th. There was another meeting at the United Nations Security Council on Israel. We just don't know where it's going, and I'm wondering, about January 20th. Well, what do I do? What do I do? I'm trying to live a normal life, and it's really been impossible for me. Please pray for us. Please pray for us. Pray that I would be able to balance out the need to remain obedient and the fire I have to continue sharing this message. And just fulfilling my duty as a dad, as a husband. It's It's really been hard for me. Thank you. Thank you for praying for us. And I'm opening my heart to you, and I didn't know where this would go, but I need your prayers. The Lord is going to be coming any day now. And it's hard for me to imagine being so close and just saying, I can't go on. I just got to go back to living my normal life. And then, just when the people need me the most, just when God needs me the most, I walk away. And I'm not there to give the last warnings. I don't know. We don't know how long we're going to be here. And that's also hard because, we want to keep our eyes on that prize and stay within our desire to go. But we want to keep our sanity to be the people we're supposed to be on this earth. It's like I'm still here on earth. I want to be in heaven, but my family needs me, and the people surround me need me, and we've got 4 new kids living in our home, and they need so much attention. And the mission churches that we are attending, we're not able to make our trips every weekend anymore because of the kids in our home, and our finances are strapped. My car's in the shop, and I don't know when we're going to get it out or how much it's going to cost. And so, we've got 2 mission churches we're overseeing in the middle of the week. Those are fine. We're not able to make those weekend trips. Only once a month we're going to be doing that now. And but there's a lot of things happening right here in our daily lives that need attention. And so it's it's maybe that's just my personality. I have a very addictive personality, and so when I get on something, I try to stay with that, and but I can't not care for the other areas of our lives. So there's some grave concerns. My wife especially, she understands the how the dates kind of keep getting extended, but there's definitely a feeling like if we're still here after January 20th, we've got to get our mind back in the game, right? We just got to live our lives out. So please pray for us. If the doors are open for us to continue on with the work of the orphanage, we're going to continue to do that. And so thank you. I thank you that I can share these thoughts with you. And God bless. Thank you.